Good evening, everybody, and welcome to an emergency edition of the Buds and Blue Jays podcast. I'm Jesse Burrell, joined by Riley McConnell. And Riley, we have some breaking news along the headlines today. In fact, the Toronto Blue Jays have come to a one-year, $13 million agreement with first base, third base / DH Justin Turner to a one-year contract. He's 39 years old. Last year in Boston, 276, 354, 455 with 23 home runs. Initial Steamer projections have Justin Turner in his first year with the Blue Jays, 260, 333, 413 with 15 home runs. Riley, when this came across your phone early this afternoon, what was your instant reaction about Justin Turner becoming a Blue Jay?
My instant reaction, I like to baseball's fun in a lot of ways. One is you can kind of compare, players of certain eras. And it goes back to the Jays have never really developed third baseman all that well. You'd almost have to go back quite a ways to find a quality third baseman that we've actually brought up through our own system from draft. Tony Batista, Corey Koski, Gloss, Roland. With Josh Donaldson, I'm going to leave him out of this conversation. What I'm getting at is these are third basemen that came to Toronto when they were past their prime. Troy Gloss still put up very good numbers with us, just for reference, but he wasn't 39 years old. Justin Turner is coming to us as a 39-year-old guy. He's been in the big leagues for a long time. And the thing that gets me, Jesse, is you already said it. You're saying third base / first base / DH. We're not getting a third baseman version of Justin Turner, which to me, that's what this ball club needed, more than any other positional player out there is a third baseman. I'm sure he'll get some reps at third base. Do I like Justin Turner as a ball player? Yeah, I think that Justin Turner has been a great kind of hit accumulator, since the year 2013, 2015. He was a big part of that Dodgers dynasty, that did so well. Now he's in the twilight of his career. He had an exceptional year as a 38-year-old playing at Fenway. He's a right-handed bat, green monster. That's going to load you up for success. I don't know if that same success is going to come to him in Toronto. It's just there's things that, don't necessarily add up to this looking too good. The other side of it, Jesse, as we say here, can't go wrong with a one-year deal, $13 million. Veterans get paid. Justin Turner's going to get at bat there. Let's see how effective he is for this Blue Jays team. I mean, I don't have him for 20 home runs necessarily, and I don't really have him pinned as a 300 hitter anymore. Let's see what happens. We can be optimistic. I don't love it first glance, though.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. As you'll find out later in this episode, I might be more down on Justin Turner than a lot of Blue Jays fans are, and we'll explain why as we get into this episode. But first things first, before we really break down Justin Turner, look, the Blue Jays had a choice here to fill this DH spot. We've talked about it a lot on other episodes between JD Martinez, Jorge Soler, Justin Turner, and others. And I think it's very interesting that the Blue Jays chose almost the safe route, if you will, with Justin Turner. This team really needed power. Justin Turner, out of those options, the least likely to give us power. He's also probably the one with the highest floor. I guess it's tough to say a 39-year-old who's got like glooming skills has a higher floor because there is that follow potential here. But it's an interesting choice that the Blue Jays went here. Would you have gone this route to fill this DH spot, or would you have gone the JD Martinez, Jorge Soler route?
I certainly would have done some swing and miss. Justin Turner isn't a swing and miss guy. I would have liked the long ball ahead of, Justin Turner can drive in a lot of runs, and he has for a long time. But I really wanted
93 ribbies with Boston last year,
which is very good. I mean, hey, we're not trying to crap on Justin Turner. I'm not trying to crap on Justin Turner. Like, he's had a very good career, and it came later in his career, his early 30s. He started finding success, and I think that's fantastic. However, you're not going to have a very long prime starting at the age 31 season. You're probably not going to have the longevity to be a great ball player the same as you were at 31 to 39. I mean, Soler and Martinez, I would have had above Justin Turner.
Yeah, me too.
And it's the sole reason, like, to find a kind of a positional description of a player, like, to base
Yeah, like Turner's only ever hit 27 home runs in his big league career, and that was when he was in his prime. Hitting 23 in Boston with that red monster or the green monster right there is always very tough with for the right-handed hitters and stuff. And I don't know. It like projections have him for 15 home runs, Riley. If you were to right now take the over/under on 15 home runs for Justin Turner this year, where do you go?
I'm going to say 13. I'm going to say 13.
13. See, that's tough, man. Like this team really desperately needed power, and if we're
Yeah.
thinking 13 home runs from this guy, that's a problem.
Do you know what would be crazy too? We know Rhys Hoskins went to the Brewers, and like this could be a year where Rhys Hoskins easily hits 34 home runs.
Without a
Like,
doubt.
With
Would not
like
surprise me.
Rhys Hoskins isn't a guy I don't know if he even has a 40 home run season, but faithfully can get you 30 home runs. Justin Turner has hit 27 home runs 2 or 3 times in his career, 3 times, I believe. That's his career high. And he's not about to explode. That would be a huge that's movie material if a 39-year-old Justin Turner breaks out in a big way and tops career power numbers. But we missed, the boat with Shohei. We were in the bidding wars there. We lost out on that. And same with Hoskins. There's other guys being snatched up around the leagues too. And why we settled on Justin Turner for a DH spot, for me, it would be different if he was a third baseman still. If he could give us plus defensive numbers, Jesse, and played third base, I'd be okay with this. But the fact that
he's not.
Be a DH, no, exactly. I wanted more power for this position, and I think for this Blue Jays team, that's what we needed before the off season even begun. That should have been the primary goal. And if you were to tell me back the day after we lost to the Minnesota Twins that our DH next year, for a team that's supposed to be getting better, we're to go out and all these signings and our DH is Justin Turner, I would have been disappointed back then. And I'm a little bit disappointed now. I'm less disappointed now because I've seen how this offseason is kind of unraveled and the moves we have made. And yeah, it's $13 million. He's a veteran. He's going to get paid. But he's limited in where he can play on the field. And I just don't think he's a valuable designated hitter.
Like if I knew going into the offseason we were going to go this route at DH, I would have almost rathered us re-sign Brandon Belt. First of all, that would have been better. At least he's left-handed compared to Justin Turner, who's right-handed. Or maybe even gone the Joey Votto route, which I know a lot of Blue Jays fans wanted. Me personally, I didn't really want to go that route. But if I knew that was the alternative or that was the route the Blue Jays were going to go, I probably would have rather picked that way. But let's talk about the good things, I guess, that we might get from Justin Turner. If you've been a baseball fan for the last decade or two, you know this guy. He's had a lot of playoff experiences. I think he's got an 830 postseason OPS in his 86 career games. So that is good. We talked about the run batted in and the clutch skill, which is something the Blue Jays really struggled with last year. He had 338, 395, 547 with runners in scoring position, plus a 134 WRC plus in high leverage and a 142 WRC plus against lefties. Plus, he's a good clubhouse guy, Riley. And I don't think the Blue Jays are lacking in good clubhouse guys. We already have a lot of good veterans, but it's just another asset in the favor of Justin Turner. So those are all good things, I suppose.
I dig the character clause, but how, can everybody be, uppity and cool with everybody if we're 5 games back of a wild card? I just want to throw that out there. Like, yeah. I get the clubhouse vibe. Jesse, we played, Jesse, you and I, as far as winning percentage on ball teams goes, we were very lucky. We played on very good teams. And I'm sure, the mojo was never really down because we were winning. It's so easy to be up when you're winning. But if you're losing, come on, guys, we're down 8-0 in the bottom of the third, and yeah, we're 7 games back of the division, and it's the second month of the year. But chin up. It's like no one wants to hear that. No one wants to deal with that. You just kind of do your own thing at that point. I get the character thing is great. It's very helpful. But you know what also is helpful is the home runs as well, because then not only is that guy not the issue, if Justin Turner, you switch his power for contact, all of a sudden he puts up 42 home runs a year, and maybe he's a quiet guy, leads by example. He's not gonna rustle any feathers because he's out there doing a hell of a job putting balls in the seats. If Justin Turner doesn't let's say that he's got a pretty bad, batting average with balls in play, and he's only hitting 240 at one point in the year. There goes his primary tool, and may I say probably the only tool, because he's
Yeah.
DHing. So then
And
what
then
do
what
you
do you
have?
have, right?
You have a DH who's destined to hit in the 8 spot. And if your DH isn't 2, 3, 4, or even 5 in your order, then you don't have a DH. The same thing can go for a first baseman too.
And that's the thing too with Justin Turner here is you got to know, like, there is real fallout potential. The guy is 39 years old. I tweeted out from the Buds and Blue Jays account, one of the first signs of decline for a hitter usually is you can't catch up to that fastball. You can't barrel it up anymore. Justin Turner's barrel rate on fastballs took a sharp decline last year, and we're seeing this a little bit with George Springer too. And when that decline comes for a player, it comes quickly. So let's get into the bad, I guess, the things that worry us going for Justin Turner this year, Riley. WRC plus of 56 in the month of September last year. That is bad. Could mean he's run out of gas in his age 38 season. The barrel rate was the lowest of career. We've already talked about the defense, the arm strength, the base running. None of those are a plus to Justin Turner's game. And he was particularly bad, as I already kind of mentioned there, against the four-seamers. Against same-side four-seam fastballs, Riley, 212, 295 slugging percentage against righties, and he struggled against sliders from righties as well. 222 average, 309. I know throughout his career he has hit righties pretty well, but this is a sharp sign of a decline from Justin Turner. And if this is the case, you can't play him against right-handed hitters. I'd almost rather see us go with Spencer Horwitz in this spot, who at least is a lefty, who at least can hit left-handed hitters, and then maybe do Cavan Biggio in this spot as well. And if you're paying Justin Turner $1 year, $13 million to be a DH, and he's not going to hit against right-handed pitching, then what are we doing here, man?
Jesse, it's very much kind of a what are we doing here? And in my head, because it's still kind of fresh. I mean, I worked basically up until 45 minutes ago, and I finally just got home and settled in, and we're recording the episode right now, obviously, but I haven't had a whole lot of time to digest. I quickly looked at Justin Turner's stats, and for me, it's kind of like he's been a good complementary piece in his career. I would say at best, never, this is probably one of the least sexy signings a team could ever really do as far as adding someone for $13 million. Because that's just it, Jesse. Is he limited in the plate appearances he can take? Like, did we just overpay this guy to ensure that we at least have a guy who can platoon a little bit? Like, or are the wheels going to fall off just after the All-Star break? Is his basically OPS going to take a dip, like you said? OPS plus of 50, whatever, doesn't matter. Those are terrible numbers. And like, we're not left with anything on the books. He'll finish out his year and go into free agency. But for him to kind of resurrect something is kind of way on the low side for the chances of that happening. I mean, I'll say this: don't go out, Blue Jays fans. Don't invest in a Justin Turner jersey. It's probably like, if he's your favorite player when he played with the Mets or the Dodgers, then sure, by all means. But this is very much a rental piece. And my question was basically this, Jesse, is Matt Chapman being my favorite player, I've got to be hard on those type of players. You take away Matt Chapman's defensive stats, and I believe he's a better DH than Justin Turner. That sounds crazy to say. The strikeout rate's astronomical. I think Turner has struck out 100 times twice. And Matt Chapman probably has a better walk rate. The power far surpasses Justin Turner. At least Matt Chapman's hit 36 home runs. Matt Chapman's also declining too. And I said, pretend if he can't play, defense, which Matt Chapman's the best defensive third baseman in baseball. Justin Turner's not playing defense. What were we do? Like, what? I don't understand what the plan was. It doesn't connect to me. It sounds like something didn't happen.
Yeah, it sounds to me like Justin Turner is supposed to be our Brandon Belt replacement more so than Justin Turner. But again, like, if he can't hit righties, it seems like a confusing fit for me. I do want to point out just a few more interesting things I saw about Justin Turner here. He does see a lot of pitches per at bat, so he does bring that veteran presence, and he does come out and he will take a lot of pitches. He will make a pitcher work. He's always been that type of guy in his career. In fact, his 4.34 pitches per plate appearance last year would have been second on the team behind only Alejandro Kirk. And he's really good at hitting sinkers. And the sinker is a pitch that we're seeing rise in popularity throughout Major League Baseball. So maybe if you get a good sinker baller on the mound, throw in Justin Turner and see if he can hit one or two. But I'm not really loving all that. The one thing, too, I wanted to point out is with Justin Turner's 23 home runs last year, a bunch of them came from fly balls hit in the air to the pull side. And he hit 7-11 on that type of batted ball last year. Now, players across baseball typically hit well because that is one of the best things you can do with a baseball. But without that green monster there, that batting average is going to come down. That BABIP is going to come down. And if Justin Turner, we think, is already going to have a decline in his home runs, he's not going to hit right-handed pitching well, and he's going to have a dip with his batting average, Riley, seems very tough for me. So that's my thought on that there. And do you have anything else you wanted to throw in about the bat of Justin Turner? Do you think there is a chance, I guess, that we get upside, like he has an even better year than he did last year? Because I don't think we do.
I'm not seeing this happen. There is basically this is like you said, there's a lot of floor with Justin Turner. We hope that the balls he hits in play go for hits is what I'm hoping for, because if that is taken away, then we don't have anything in the guy. We hope that it's hit, those balls driven hard are hit into the gap, the balls over the shortstop's head, clear his area of range, and those are hits that are on his part, and the Blue Jays get, and there's runners on base. Because you talk about we need clutch guys. Well, we'll see how clutch Justin Turner is if he's put in those situations.
Yeah, we'll see. So I wanted to ask Riley, what does this signing mean coming next for the Toronto Blue Jays? Just I got some rapid fire things here, and just give me a quick yes or no answer, Riley. This means we're out on Jorge Soler and JD Martinez, correct?
Sadly, I feel like yes, that we're out on them. Although the addition would have been nice, but I think that this might be it.
I don't want to rule it out either, but it does seem like if Justin Turner was guaranteed DH at bats, it seems very unlikely we sign one of those players. So then this also probably says a goodbye to a Brandon Belt or a Matt Chapman return, correct?
I would say yes. Although, again, if we brought back one of those four players that you just mentioned that wasn't Justin Turner, I think that would be great and gave that player more at bats than Justin Turner. Maybe Belt against righties, Turner against lefties, but you're picking up on what I'm saying is that this acquisition alone is not high impact at all.
And then another one here. This means Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is our full-time third baseman, right?
Yeah, unless Biggio is proving himself to be a great defensive and offensive minded third baseman, then you'll probably see IKF in a lot of ball games this year.
Okay, then let's talk about the third base, second base / DH rotation here and what it's going to mean. If Justin Turner is our full-time designated hitter next year, that leaves us with Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, Davis Schneider, Cavan Biggio, Santiago Espinal to round out that infield spots. And let's not forget about Otto Lopez and then all the guys that we talked in our last episode that are lurking in AAA Buffalo. How do you see this spot working out for the Blue Jays?
Well, let's just pretend Turner's not going to take any reps on any of the corner bags, and you'll go Davis Schneider, second base. Okay, perfect. Have IKF against left-handed pitching and Biggio against righties, unless whoever's playing better at the time. That's kind of how I see it. Espinal is going to ride the pine for a little bit. As far as guys like Otto Lopez, I'm not really sure what. Again, spring training is gonna say a lot of what's going to happen this year. But Jesse, if we are just automatically assuming that the DH spot is taken up with Justin Turner, then that takes away a spot in the lineup. And one of the players for the past how many years, there's been a decent guy sitting on the bench and a right-handed bat in Justin Turner, a right-handed bat in Danny Jansen. I mean, this might drive me nuts. It just occurred to me now, and I don't want to go off kilter here, but this might take away some at bats from Danny Jansen this year.
Just had the same thought. Yeah,
I'm not pleased about that. Especially what we've just talked about, Jesse. That stinks. That'll be a whole other episode where I basically do Jansen for president or Jansen for prime minister, whatever you want to call it, because he's criminally underrated. I hope Turner can pull his weight. I hope Justin Turner can hit his weight and, hit basically what he's done. I mean, this guy he's had a good major league career. It's in the twilight of his career. If he's able to manifest a decent,
yeah, he could be a good player if he can ever tap into the guy that he was in his peak. You've got a good signing. This is going to look smart on a 1-year, $13 million deal, but I necessarily do not think that is necessarily going to happen here. 2 more questions, Riley. I'm just going to read to you the lineup and tell me where do you think Justin Turner fits in here. Don't go into detail. Just tell me where do you think he goes. But right now, Springer, Bichette, Vlad is probably our top 3. I think we can assume that that's the case. If things go the way you said with Davis Schneider at second, Cavan Biggio on third, and then Isaiah Kiner-Falefa on the bench, that leaves your next spots. Let's assume that Kiermaier is 9. That leaves Turner, Biggio, Schneider, Varsho, Kirk. Where does Justin Turner fit in that lineup?
I have a ridiculous theory that Kirk is going to hit far too high in the lineup this year. I would say as high as 4th some games. I'm going to say Justin Turner hits cleanup or 5th. I think 5th more often than not, but it will not be a rare occurrence to see him bat DH out of the cleanup spot.
That's where Roster Resource has him right now. I bet you he'll start the season there. If I'm a betting man, I will bet that he does not end this season there. And then I ask you this, Riley. Are the Blue Jays done? Is this it? Like, do we have another move coming here, the pipeline, or is this Justin Turner move the last one and we'll just see some minor things before spring training rolls around?
I would love to see another bat in this lineup because of exactly what you said. And I think there's some room to free up. I think that, Espinal in the right case has some trade value, or somebody has some value. Could be Spencer Horowitz. Could be Otto Lopez. Like, I really think that we did not do a good job this offseason. I really don't think so. I think this is one of the worst off seasons we've had since I gave a crap. Let's say since the Roy Halladay being a Cy Young winner. I think this is one of our poorest signings initially. It could go extremely well, and it could really go extremely poorly. But as a team, for what this team needs, we did not find that. And I part of me still wants, Jack Sawinski from the Pirates, or some sort of left-handed power bat in this lineup. And if we don't get it, we don't get it. Then we're going to play with the guys that we have in hopes that something happens. But if we are a bust this year, I will be less disappointed than I was probably since 2019. I won't be, because I'm not, at this point, I'm not surprised. We are not a playoff team as it stands right now, in my opinion. Going around the American League, seeing the teams that, the Baltimore Orioles, how they're going to get better as this year goes on. Tampa's taken a step back. The Yankees have done extremely well. The Blue Jays, we have not made a big splash. We have a stone's throw in an ocean of a splash.
I agree with you, Riley. It's not looking too hot for the Blue Jays right now, but remember the teams that won the offseason last year, the New York Mets and San Diego Padres? Neither of them made the playoffs, so you never want to be the team that quote-unquote wins the offseason, I suppose, but you want to make your team better, and we don't think the Blue Jays did that here with the moves they made this offseason. Look, Ben Nicholson-Smith, the beat reporter, does think that the Blue Jays are probably done with the major moves. He thinks there might be small marginal things coming. Robert Murray, who's a writer for the Blue Jays as well, he thinks Ross Atkins is still trying to do stuff. He's having conversations. He does not think it's the end. So be it. So go with that, what you know. My last point I want to make on Justin Turner here before we call up and wrap up this emergency episode is he's a ginger, Riley, and the Blue Jays haven't had a ton of redheaded players in the major leagues for a long time. I used to have this theory that it was called the curse of the ginger, that only one redhead player is allowed to be good at Major League Baseball at one time. Justin Turner at once was that guy, and we'll see if he can spark that up again coming into the next year. I wanted to know, Riley, if you had a favorite redhead, a favorite ginger in Blue Jays history.
No, we did this before, and it's been 28 minutes, and I still can't think of anyone. I'm not going to steal
Mhm.
your guy because I don't want to be unoriginal and a dink that way. I'll tell you, I think my favorite redhead in Major League Baseball history might be Jeff Bagwell. He's one of the
Okay,
only
yep.
redheads I can think of. You have a good one, Jesse. I want to just you say it on air because we like a Blue Jays name, and he might even be the best redhead pitcher the Blue Jays have had.
Maybe. It's hard to think off the top of my head, but Jesse
It
Litch
is.
was the one who came to mind for a redheaded Toronto Blue Jays. So you can add Justin Turner to the list of Ginger fans. Maybe the Blue Jays will do some theme promotion this year where you got a Justin Turner wig or beard combo as a promotion this year. I guess we'll wait and see to that. Riley, any last thoughts about Justin Turner and his 1-year deal with the Toronto Blue Jays before getting out here today?
No, Jesse, I mean, it's not a sexy move.
No.
Is it low risk? I mean, it's tough to say right now. I just thought we would have possibly got a higher impact player, especially if we're basically out as far as signings after this. But we'll see what happens. The offseason is not done yet, and the Blue Jays are still a young core team. Varsho could take a huge step forward. Bo could take a huge step forward. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. could take a huge step forward. Like our core guys could still get a ton better. And then Justin Turner is that complementary piece that he.
Yep. And then that's what it's going to take in order for this Toronto Blue Jays team to be ultimately successful. It falls on Vlad's shoulders. We'll be back on Thursday, guys, to discuss our next preview. We're going to talk outfielders, we're going to talk catchers, and some breaking news, including Vladimir Guerrero Jr. going on MLB The Show 24, which Riley and I are avid baseball video game fans. I'm sure we'll touch on that as well. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you for joining us for the emergency edition of the Justin Turner thing. Please make sure to like, subscribe, follow the channel. Anywhere you can find your podcast, you can find us at Buds and Blue Jays. We'll see you again next week. Until then, let's go Blue Jays.
Thanks, guys.